and welcome to another episode of Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, recorded and produced at the Video Podcast Studio. I'm your host, Gina Yeager, founder and director of GYC Vegas, an award-winning PR and marketing agency. We believe every company has a story to tell, and we're passionate about getting businesses recognized. At Get Your Chat On, we sit down with local professionals to get to know a little about their organization, their role, and their perspective on our vibrant business community here in Southern Nevada. On today's episode, we're chatting with DeAndre Esteen, Vice President and Contact Center Site Coordinator at Barclays Bank US, where DeAndre oversees the citizenship and community agenda, establishing relationships with key community stakeholders, including nonprofit organizations and schools, while supporting colleagues in volunteer and fundraising efforts. With a degree in communications from Xavier University in Louisiana, DeAndre previously served as Director of Development at the Shade Tree and currently serves on the Henderson Chamber Board of Directors, where he formerly served as board chair, and recently joined the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance's Board of Directors. Recognized as one of Las Vegas's 40 under 40 and named a JA Hero by Junior Achievement of Las Vegas, DeAndre chairs the Henderson campus's Employee Resource Group Council and has been honored twice with Tech Impact's Volunteer Impact Award. Oh my gosh, this is the longest, but so awesome. DeAndre, I'm so happy that you're here and you came to join us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So we're here to talk about your career, and we're here to talk about Barclays and your role there. So tell us more about Barclays as a company and your role at the company.
Yeah, so Barclays is a global financial institution with over 330 years of history around the world. In the U.S., we mostly focus on the credit card customer service piece of it. Mm-hmm. So we are headquartered in Wilmington, Delaware, but we have our largest operation campus right here in Henderson, Nevada. We have over 1,100 colleagues and very passionate group of folks who are definitely community-minded. It's one of our core pillars and values, and you just feel the energy of our colleagues who want to give back. And I began the journey in 2014, about 6 months after we opened the location in Southern Nevada.
Okay.
And, it's just been a really great journey to be able to establish my career there, really grow within my role, leverage the things I've learned in previous professional occupations to really establish our brand and our footprint here from a community standpoint. So it's been a great ride. Just 11 years in August, and the longest place I've been professionally. But Barclays has allowed me to really work with our colleagues, really look at what we do from a community standpoint, and put our fingerprint here in Southern Nevada, because we don't do branch banking like some other institutions. Mm-hmm. So we don't have that quote unquote name recognition like you might see on the corner. You might see a ATM, which, funny thing I'm going to say, you can thank Barclays for the ATM because we're the ones who invented it.
Really?
We were the first to utilize the ATM over 50 years ago. So you're welcome, everyone.
That is convenient.
Or you might say, no, Barclays, why'd you do that? But it really depends. But going back to the community aspect, my role is a hybrid role, as I like to think of it.
Okay.
Everything from philanthropy and volunteer engagement, creating programs, working with organizations and schools on existing programs they might have, and really connecting our colleagues. You mentioned the inclusion and opportunity, so making sure our 11 employee resource groups are out there making an impact with our colleagues and also in the community as well. There's internal communications too, and a little bit of recruitment with our talent acquisition team. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different hats that I wear here in Southern Nevada.
Okay. Is there a DeAndre in the other markets that Barclays has a presence in?
I get asked that all the time. Actually, I get asked that more in the company.
Oh, really?
Which is really funny. But there's a wonderful team back in Delaware and also in the UK and other campuses that we have around the world that handle sort of things individually. So there's a group for what we like to call Citizenship. So that's our volunteer engagement, making sure that we're out serving the communities and making them better. There is also a great communications team. We have, like I said, a talent acquisition team, so our attraction team. So there's different teams. But when we started out here in 2014, the idea was we're so far away from the East Coast, so it makes sense to have someone here to really manage, oversee, and really engage our colleagues, right? I mean, they're 3 hours away in Delaware. But I've been able to really grow the role. Thinking of things that I've learned in my past careers in media and also volunteerism, leveraging contacts that I made as well, to where leadership has really entrusted me with, being able to be, quote unquote, the face of Barclays from a community standpoint, along with our wonderful colleagues out there.
So let's talk, you mentioned your career journey. Let's talk about that. What are some of those key milestones that shaped your career and brought you where you are today, from being a life skills instructor to leading community initiatives at one of the world's largest banks with the longest history, right?
Right. Yeah. So we're going to actually go back a little bit before that. So I actually began my career in local media and television. That's what I went to school for. Even in high school, that is where the focus was. It was going to be on TV. And I wanted to be a producer. I wanted to write. I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to be able to have a voice at the table to really say, hey, these are stories that we should be telling in our community. And so I actually worked with a local television station right out of college. There was a wonderful man who hired me right out of college, saw potential in me, and really helped me along. And I'm eternally grateful for his guidance and his support at the time. And so I worked in TV media for 4 years. Unfortunately, the recession happened.
Oh, yeah.
So there was some changes that had to be made. And so the thought process was, I don't have a job right now. I was still fairly young, but what can I do in the meantime? And that led me to the Shade Tree, where I actually started off as a volunteer in teaching life skills.
Okay.
And that was so great. It was very eye-opening to the stories that are out there, the things that these women and children have gone through and have survived through as well. So I got hired full-time in the life skills department doing workforce readiness. And then another person saw something in me and thought I would be a good fundraiser. And shout out to Marlene Richter, if she's listening. And Marlene really said, you would be great at this. I think you would do good in development. And that's how it started there. And about 4 years later, I just really thought, okay, what's next? What's out there? And I saw Barclays was hiring, and everything that I had done at the time kind of led up to me being in that role. And so I applied, and, being able to impact the community from the other side now, being on the inside, working at Shade Tree, understanding what is needed in the community, and also being able to tell those stories, I think has really helped me in the role that I'm in now. And so once I began my journey with Barclays, I think it was more of a natural fit because I had been on the nonprofit side already. So understanding the community, I'm from here, Vegas born, Vegas raised, and wanting to really utilize the resources that I have from a professional standpoint to help people in the community. I think that's been the best part of my job in doing so.
The relationships that you've built that I've seen that you have throughout the community are so strong. I commend you for that. It's awesome to see. What would you say is the mission? I mean, you've talked about giving back. What's the mission or the purpose that lies behind your work connecting Barclays with the community?
Well, I think professionally with Barclays, just the opportunity to make things better. We like to say at Barclays, we want to make a difference. We have a whole campaign around it, but honestly, we do it year round.
Yeah.
And it's really about how can we take our colleagues, and I think about it this way: how can I affect the colleagues as well as the organizations or the human lives that we're touching? How can I get our colleagues to understand that an hour of time or two hours of their time or whatever they're doing or whatever that project is, how that's going to directly impact the lives or the organization that we're working with at the time? And I feel like if I can take and tell that story effectively, and our colleagues are like, I get it. Like they have that aha moment, and then they enjoy it because they know that the story is bigger than themselves. So I think that's the best part of me, and the purpose of why I do is to be able to connect our colleagues to make a lasting impact on not just our community, but also themselves.
That's really inspiring. How would you say that work pushes boundaries at what corporate citizenship looks like?
So the great thing about Barclays, and I say this as no direct shot at anyone or any company or anything like that, but the one thing I've always appreciated with Barclays and learning, and some things are trial and error, not everything works, but Barclays is about tangible hands-on. So that's why we volunteer so much, because we know that those hands-on, tangible opportunities really make a difference. You can connect. You connect with the organization. You connect with the people. We write checks as well. We make investments into organizations and schools that we feel like really fit our, what we like to call life skills. And life skills is about workforce readiness, skills building, and also there's some brand support as well and sponsorship. But everything attached to that is about volunteerism. How can we actively get involved? What's the long-term relationship that we can have with this organization or school to where we can get our colleagues out there mobilized, energized, and ready to make an impact?
Okay. You yourself, outside of this role, are really involved in the community. Really heavily involved with Henderson Chamber, on the LVGEA board, and Tech Impact and Junior Achievement. What drives this, this additional support, and how do you decide which organizations to get involved with?
Oof. Well, when I look at the chamber, the Henderson Chamber of Commerce, we have a really great relationship. They were very instrumental in assisting us and getting settled out here and helping us with relationship building as a company.
When it was established,
when we
this
first came out. Same thing with the LVGEA. But I'm going to go with the Henderson Chamber first, because that was the first board that I ever joined, and that was the foundation board. So being, again, at the table with community-focused leaders, from various different industries, but we're all like-minded and what our purpose and our mission is, and working together to help the chamber become more community visible, and just really getting out there. And I had the privilege and honor of serving on the foundation board as chair in 2022 through 2024. So yeah, a 2-year stint. And being able to lead other leaders was just such an honor and a privilege. And then Tech Impact, Barclays has a great relationship with, and so being on the advisory board felt like a natural fit too, because we are such a huge supporter of that, but to be able to be a decision maker. And I think to round out the LVGEA, because I had decided a long time ago that I was going to give myself 2 boards, right? No more than 2 boards.
It's hard, right?
Because it's hard, because you have to really dedicate your time. And I want to make sure I'm dedicating my time towards things that I'm passionate about, that I know that I can give my 100% to. And if I can't do that, then I'm doing myself and I'm doing the organization a disservice.
I completely agree. Yep.
But the LVGEA and that board was so prestigious, and what they represent, and they were really looking for some folks to come in and really help steer in a new direction. And I was asked to actually take my boss's, Jane Backhouse, take her spot on the board because she has such a huge role within Barclays, so many responsibilities. She's so good at her job. They're like, Jane, we need you to take care of this now. Okay, you did that? You need to take care of this now. But Jane is so great, and she's been so supportive as well. And so I thought about it. I talked to my family about it. And yeah, as of February, I'm on the LVGEA board as well. So yes, broke my own rule. But for all the best reasons. And I think what that allows me to do, again, it not only puts me at the table as a decision maker, but it puts Barclays in the right spot to be a driving force in the community and have a say-so in some of these large initiatives that are happening, whether it's from a small business standpoint, community standpoint with the chamber, whether it's from a regional standpoint, the LVGEA, or a programmatic standpoint with Tech Impact. So to be able to represent Barclays, represent myself, and represent my family and my community at these tables with such a great people, it's just, it can't get much better than that.
I love that you're so passionate about everything. Professional advice.
Yeah.
What are some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned that you could that could benefit others who are looking to, do a similar transition? I'm sure it might not look the same, but a lot of people switch careers as you did early on. And how would you? What would you say to those folks?
And thinking about this question, I think the one piece of advice is don't be afraid to bet on yourself. I think sometimes we get into a funk, or there's something that happens in our lives. Maybe that career transition wasn't your decision, and that happens quite often.
Right.
But sometimes when it is your decision and you feel like there's a direction you want to go, sometimes you have to bet on yourself. Having said that, it always helps to have people who are rooting for you in your corner, and to recognize who they are very early, believe in their support, and make sure that you recognize that you might not believe in yourself in the moment, but they believe in you, and they do it for a reason. Whether it's, you're someone who wants to start your own business and venture out, whether you're making that career transition to another industry, don't be afraid to bet on yourself. You got to a certain level for a reason, whether it's your skills, whether it's your talent, whether it's relationships that you've built. Leverage all those things, and mentorship, those people who have your back. They want to see you succeed. So you should want to see yourself succeed too.
I love that. Let's talk about some of the upcoming initiatives. What are you super excited about right now that you're working on with Barclays?
Ooh, I don't know if I can talk about some of them so much. But I think overall, I'm really excited. If I had to speak very general, right, in general terms, I'm really excited about the opportunity that we're going to have in 2026 to expand some of the programming that we've done. I think 2025 was really awesome. We were able to establish new partnerships in different ways with Junior Achievement and their summer scholarship program that they were doing for their camp. And by the way, if you haven't been to Junior Achievement's Innovation Center, for those listening, please take a visit, volunteer, get out there. They are doing some great work in expanding the financial literacy programming, not just in the schools, but year-round. And I'm so proud of them and so happy for the team there and what they've been able to do. But we've been able to work with them a little bit more and expand what we've been doing, continue our partnership with Tech Impact. 3 Square has been a huge partner of ours. I think in the last couple of years, we've really entered into the food insecurity space in supporting 3 Square. We've always kind of volunteered with them, but I always look forward to a food drive. We do a food drive competition called In Hunger Games, where it's, I know, right? And
it's very fitting for right now.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because you think about all these different initiatives, and with everything that's happening now, we were in that space before that, and it's just crazy the way the world works and the way, things are right now. But I'm very glad that we've been able to support 3 Square through our food drives, our volunteerism, and also, providing some, some funds to purchase meals for folks. We have a new partnership with a local organization and a school that, from what I was told, is one of a kind.
Oh.
That launches in February. So I don't want to.
Cool. Oh, that's okay. This is going to air probably January, maybe early. Yeah, probably January, or maybe early February. So it might be perfect timing for that.
Yeah. So don't want to announce it yet because I don't want to,
no problem.
Take the bow off of it. But I think it's really going to impact lives at a local school. So excited about that. And again, just thinking of new ways of how we can volunteer and get creative. I think kind of going back to some of the earlier questions of, what are things that I'm proud of. I'm also proud of kind of thinking outside the box a little bit, being able to kind of create events in programming, for our colleagues. One of my favorite events that we did, and I took a template from Junior Achievement just a little bit, in what they do in Finance Park. But we were trying to think about, okay, how do we teach financial literacy in a fun way to kids, right? Because let's be real, kids at a young age don't really care about 401ks
right.
or long-term savings, right? It requires some teaching. But, at the first thought, they're like, no, I want my money now, so we did a really cool program. This was maybe in 2019 that we turned financial literacy into a prom. So we did a whole, I know, right?
That sounds fun.
We did a whole event. We turned our town hall space at the time into almost like a prom. Our colleagues dressed up. I had like the tux with the ruffle shirt and it was salmon color and everything.
Oh gosh.
But the idea was saving for a dance because these were middle schoolers, right? So if I can connect the financial literacy to something that's a little bit more relevant to them, maybe they'll have that aha moment. Our colleagues really got into it. We had a photo backdrop. We made it really, really fun, like almost like a dance scene. And we went through, we each gave them a budget and they had to shop for shoes on the budget based on what they got. The kids dressed up too. It was just such a fun but impactful event, right? And then we went around afterwards and said, okay, so how did you feel? What did you think, about making decisions? You only had this amount of money. And the kids really, really took to it and loved it. And it was one of our bigger events that we had that year. I remember I worked on it for like 2 or 3 months. And like every time I added something, my colleagues who were watching me, I'm like at the computer building like the PowerPoint and thinking about the different ideas. And I'm like, what are you working on? I'm like, you have to see this. This is hilarious right here. But it was so cool that the colleagues saw the vision. They got into it. The school at the time and the students really got into it and really learned. So being able to also create things from the ground up, but taking an existing concept is also fun for me too.
That I can relate. Yeah. As you know, we work with a lot of nonprofits as well, and I love being able to, just as you do, connect our for-profit clients with our nonprofit clients, or just finding other businesses in the community, even if we don't work with them, to work with our nonprofits, and then vice versa. Finding other nonprofits that we don't work, that we have, for-profit clients that want to get out into the community, want to give back, want to serve, and finding and collaborating and creating initiatives and programs and things that don't exist, just from scratch, is so much fun to design those things.
Yeah, and when you get into it, it's hard to stop.
Yeah,
it's hard to stop. But again, the bigger picture of it's fun, but it's impactful too. So that's definitely a memorable project that I worked on.
Awesome. You need to bring that back, right? So we're going to do a little fun doing business in Vegas style, fill in the blank.
All right.
I know you do a lot of networking as I do. We see each other out and around. We're on the same board together. So, I know you're familiar with it. So you just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right.
Okay. When doing business in Las Vegas, it's essential to have a solid strategy for
relationship building.
The key to networking in Las Vegas is to always remember
their name.
Remember their name, of course. One thing every new transplant should know before doing business in Las Vegas is to never underestimate the power of
relationships.
I know. Those two questions always come up with similar answers.
Yeah.
When it comes to connecting with a business contact for coffee, lunch, or drinks, you can't go wrong meeting up at?
I would say Public Works on Water Street. That's a very good place to meet. They have great drinks, great staff, and you're likely to see someone
Someone you know.
Someone else
or
you
you've
know.
done business with. Yep. The best way to unwind after a day of business meetings in Las Vegas is to indulge in some blank to recharge.
I don't know if this is to recharge, but it's a different type of energy. Spending time with my daughter, who is 2. So you know that's a different type of energy. But also, her energy is a little bit different. 2 boys as well, who are 16 and 10. And hearing about their day, so coming home and kind of turning off the professional brain and being dad and being husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are 3 there's big gaps in those ages. So
Yeah.
your energy is spent in totally different ways with all 3 of those kids. So that must be a fun household to come
Oh, it is. It is. Like I said, different types of energy, let me tell you.
Absolutely. Personal lightning round. This is just getting to know the fun things that DeAndre imagines or he's done before.
All right.
So if you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
Oof. If I can teleport anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah, it could be somewhere you've been before or somewhere you would love to go.
I would like to go camping. The family and I, we've recently during the summer, we actually go camping. And it's just a different pace, and getting away for a little bit. Yeah, it'd be great to go camping. Yeah, and I would say southern Utah.
Yeah, I've done tons of camping in southern Utah. Yeah. All over the place.
Yeah, it'd be great.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
So I thought about this. And first I wanted to do the Cartman. My power would be to have all the powers I want. But South Park reference for those who know. No, seriously. And then I thought, super speed would be good. But I would say by location, being 2 places at once.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of split your time.
Yeah, enough said.
Super efficient. Yeah.
Enough said.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done and would you do it again?
Becoming a father.
That is adventurous.
Becoming a father. Would I do it again? Next question, please.
Of course you would.
Next question, please.
Here's the last one. If you could swap lives with any character, could be fiction, could be real, who would it be and what would you do?
I love my life. Wouldn't swap with anyone. Absolutely. Love it.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, DeAndre, it's been such a pleasure having you on today. It's been inspiring learning about your passion for the community and your role at Barclays. Where can people reach out to you to learn more about your company initiatives or just connect with you?
Yeah, well, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on that platform, so DeAndre Esteen. You can also look up our socials at barclaysbankus.com. And I think this has been wonderful, and I really appreciate being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, DeAndre. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Be sure to follow us at GYC Vegas on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our channel wherever you stream podcasts. And if you want to learn more about how your business can enhance its marketing efforts through the power of PR, visit our website at gycvegas.com. Thanks for listening to Get Your Chat On, and we'll see you next time.